edified.
The thoughts, views, and comments expressed on this show are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production of Glory 93.9 FM.
Today can be the turning point in your life by making a simple decision.
Fundamental questions of navigation. Where am I? Where am I going? And how do I get there from here?
I invite the leaders of our planet to ask themselves these three questions before they make any crucial decisions.
But if you don't make decisions, you're going to stay right where you are.
We are all map makers.
We are in a time of transition.
If we're going to change, we have to change the direction that we're going.
Our planet needs leaders who know where they want to go.
When we change the direction we're going, then we want to make sure we're going in the right direction.
Leaders who can see the big picture.
Because if we're not, we're going to either go backwards or we're going to stay where we are.
Recognizing the psychological and the spiritual shifts and changes that need to be made, often from the inside to the outside.
To be able to shape your future, you have to be willing and able to change your paradigm.
Complex journeys require navigation. The path to the truth is one such journey. This is your GPS. Hairstyling services provided by J.D. Edwards Salon and Spa, Palmdale Shopping Plaza, Ladera Street. Accessories provided by Chevette Williamson Jewelry. Standout jewelry for standout women. Wardrobe provided by Bahari Bahamas. Visit shopbahari.com. Good morning, Bahamas, and welcome to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Glory 93.9 FM. I'm your host, Michelle Malcolm. As always, it's a pleasure to be in your company. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Really appreciate your support. So, I am calling this show today Detect, Deflect, Destroy. Understanding your immune system. That's what we're going to be talking about today. And obviously, I don't have to explain to you why I thought it was important for us to do this show today. I mean, unless you live under deep rock, you know just what's going on around the world as it relates to the importance of your immune system. But how many people truly understand what the immune system is and how it works? I thought we should cover that today. But before we dive in, I just want to say this. I would like to say kudos to Dr. D. Arthur. I can't remember her. I can't remember her full first name, but she does a show on Guardian Radio. Now, it must be was good for me to be shouting out Guardian Radio, right? She does a show on Guardian Radio called, it's a show with she's a doctor, and it's a show about, inviting people on to talk about health issues, etc. Ask the Doctor. Her show last evening, she herself is a doctor, and she had on 3 other doctors on her show. And I want to say kudos to every single doctor that appeared on her panel on that show last evening and told the truth. I cannot applaud you enough. Thank you for telling the truth. And it made me feel really good. Somebody had sent me the link to the show, and I listened to it late last night, and I was like, wow. It was really validation that everything that I've been saying on this show as it relates to our approach to COVID-19 and how we're missing the boat by not encouraging people to take better care of themselves, and also by not embracing other methodologies that have proven to be effective. Every single thing I've been saying on this show, those doctors said on that show. And I was like, wow. 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 It made me feel really, really validated. Because, sometimes you're trying your best to put the information out there, and you're being vilified for it. They call you anything but a child of God. You're conspiracy theorist, you're a narcissist, you're this, you're the next. And all you're trying to do is get truth out there. And I was really, really, really very encouraged that those 4 doctors, including the host of the show, and let me make it clear, they weren't knocking the vaccine. They were just making it very clear that, as I've been saying on this show repeatedly, even if you take the vaccine, you still need a healthy immune system for it to work. And the question that they were asking is what I've been asking for weeks. Why is it, number one, we are downplaying the importance of your immune system? And number two, why are they ignoring other methodologies that have proven to be effective? These were medical doctors saying this. And I was like, praise the Lord. Somebody finally decided to stand up and say it. Because there are a lot of doctors out there who feel exactly how they feel, but they're scared to speak out. I'm telling you, many of them have contacted me. So kudos to the host of that show and everybody who appeared on that show last evening for their bravery to tell the truth. Bertha says, tell the truth and shame the devil. Honestly, somebody got to do it, Bertha. And I was so very encouraged by those doctors on that show last evening. I thought, my God, this is what I've been trying to tell these people, but I ain't no doctor. I ain't got no MD behind my name. So I just, just a conspiracy theorist. What do I know? Wow. So anyway, congratulations for what I thought was a very impactful show. And I just hope that people listen. I just hope that people start to listen. So I thought it was important today to do this show on explaining your immune system, because a lot of people really don't understand what their immune system is and how it works. And so this show today is going to, hopefully by the end of this show today, you will understand fully what makes up your immune system, how it works, what it does not do, and why you should take better care of yours. And we're also going to give you some tips to tell you what you can do to protect your immune system. So first and foremost, I want to play a clip. This is clip number 1, Marisha. And this is a clip with Dr. Joel Wallach, who is explaining what makes up your immune system in your body. So let's go to clip number 1.
Most people don't realize it, but the immune system is made up of many different systems. Your skin wards off big chunks of foreign bodies, dust and splinters and things like that. Then you have antibodies, which are antibodies against pollens and foreign chemicals and things in your sweat and your tears, your saliva, your digestive enzymes. Your immune system also includes your appendix and your thymus and your tonsils. Your immune system includes your stomach acid. Your immune system is your proteins from your liver. So it's a very complex thing. Your white blood cells are part of your immune system. And nutrition is required for all these systems to work properly. They don't work in a vacuum. They do require all the known essential nutrients, which include 16 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 essential amino acids, 3 essential fatty acids, and then also the antioxidants which you can get in your food. These are measured by ORAC points. ORAC is the acronym, stands for oxygen radical absorption capacity. And ORAC points tell you how many free radicals are neutralized by the antioxidants in your blood and your sweat. And so this is kind of just a short version of what your immune system is.
So we're going to learn more about it as we go throughout the show. That was just a nutshell for you to understand what makes up your immune system. It's a very complex system, very intelligent system as well. You can tell just by looking at how your immune system functions that, we had to have been created by how anybody could think that this just happened, that the intricacies of your body and your systems, and I mean how intelligent your systems are. That just happened. There's no such thing as a God. You got to be stupid to believe that. You cannot look at all of creation, especially our physical bodies, and think that just happened. God is so infinitely wise, and just the way that he created our bodies is just amazing. We are walking miracles. It's amazing how intelligent our bodies are. And we're going to learn more about the immune system today and how intelligent it is. So whether you are aware or not, your body is engaged in a never-ending battle. You are literally covered in staph and strep and E. coli and all sorts of dubious characters that are intent on using your body and its resources to feed itself, to reproduce, to find shelter, and just live a happy, comfortable life. That's what they do. But thanks be to God, your body has developed a very intelligent 3-part policy or system to detect, deflect, and destroy. And that enforcement is handled by your immune system. So, the first line of defense in this never-ending battle is your innate immune system, or non-specific defense system. Let's go to clip number 2.
Like your average frontline soldier, it's prepared to immediately engage with anyone suspicious, and it mostly includes stuff we were born with, like the external barricades of your skin and mucous membranes, and internal defenses like phagocytes, antimicrobial proteins, and other attack cells. But today we're going to focus on your innate system and look at how it uses an arsenal of physical and chemical barriers, killer cells, and even fever to keep you healthy, proving that sometimes the symptoms we associate with illness are actually the signs that we're healing. I mean, your body is capable of some incredibly sophisticated things, including defending itself from infection. But occasionally, there's something to be said for brute force. And a lot of your innate immune system's functions aren't exactly subtle. For example, your body's very first line of defense is a simple physical barrier. And it works. Like a wall around a fortress, your skin does a fantastic job of keeping out all manner of malevolent microorganisms. As long as that tough, keratinized epithelial membrane doesn't get torn open or busted up too much, you could probably, make snowballs out of raw sewage and still be alright. Although, no. Your many mucous membranes also provide a handy physical barrier. You'll remember that they align any cavity that opens up into the germy outside world, including the respiratory, digestive, urinary, and reproductive tracts. Not only do your skin and mucosa supply simple physical protection, they also pack some serious chemical weaponry. Eat some questionable leftovers for lunch? Don't worry, your stomach is literally filled with acid, so you probably are covered. Walk face first into your coworker's nasty sneeze cloud? No worries, your nasal passages can whip up a tissue box worth of sticky mucus to help trap viruses before they enter your lungs. So when you've breached that first simple line of defense, it's time to call on your second line of internal innate defenses. This is where your body starts pulling strategic maneuvers like firing up a fever, releasing chemical signals, causing inflammation, or other defensive tactics that help identify and attack infectious invaders. Some of the first defensive cells on the scene are your phagocytes. Their name literally means to eat, and like Pac-Man, they indiscriminately chase down intruders and gobble them up. And they come in a few different varieties. First, you got neutrophils, which are the most abundant type of your white blood cells. They kind of self-destruct after devouring a pathogen, and in fact, you've probably seen piles of their little dead bodies, because that's what pus is made of. But the bigger, tougher phagocytes are the macrophages. They're derived from monocyte white blood cells that have moved out of the bloodstream to occupy tissues, and some are free types that patrol tissues looking for creepers, while others are fixed, attached to fibers in specific organs, devouring anything suspicious that passes by. So when a macrophage, in say the finger I just cut slicing a bagel, sees a new bacterium coming along, it snares it using cytoplasmic extensions, reels it in, completely engulfs it, and essentially digests it and spits the rest out. And unlike neutrophils, it can do this over and over again, like a boss. But not all your defense cells are phagocytic. You've also got cells with what is by far the awesomest name of any cell in the body, the natural killer cells. These tiny assassins patrol your blood and lymph looking for abnormal cells and are unique in that they can kill your own cells if they are infected with viruses or have become cancerous. How can they tell? A normal, healthy human cell contains a special protein on its surface called MHC1, or Major Histocompatibility Complex. But if it's infected, it stops making that protein. And if an NK cell detects a defective cell, it doesn't swallow it whole like a macrophage. It pokes it with an enzyme that triggers triggers apoptosis, or programmed cell death. But how do they know where to look in the first place? Say you're in a banana factory, and you slip on a banana peel and you scrape your knees. Your outer fortress has been breached and the pathogens are just flooding in like orcs through Helm's Deep. Now, your body wants to contain the spread of pathogens, clean up the mess, and get healing as quickly as possible, so it cues up your inflammatory response. This is basically an internal fire alarm, only it uses chemicals instead of sirens to get the message across, and instead of smoke and fire, you sense redness, swelling, heat, and pain. For example, in the event of injury, specialized mast cells in your connective tissue send out histamine molecules, and histamine is great at calling in the cavalry. For one thing, it causes vasodilation, which creates redness and heat at the site of the injury. Now, those things might freak you out a little, but they're actually signs of healing. The increased temperature, for example, ratchets up the cell's metabolic rate so they can repair themselves faster. Meanwhile, histamines and other inflammatory chemicals also increase the permeability of blood vessels, causing nearby capillaries to release protein-rich fluids. This causes swelling, which again is actually a good thing because that leaked protein helps clot blood and form scabs, while the lymphatic system sucks up and filters that extra fluid, cleaning it up before putting it back into your bloodstream. And of course, like chum to sharks, an inflamed knee is also going to attract a bunch of local phagocytes, which find it easier to escape your now leaky capillaries, and lymphocytes that are also flowing freely, helping to destroy pathogens while also cleaning up dead cell wreckage. And don't forget, during all of this, the neutrophils have been doing their best, but they were the first wave to arrive, so by this time, they're starting to die in heaps. They're triggered when the injured knee skin cells release chemicals that begin leukocytosis, the release of neutrophils from the bone marrow, where they're made, into the bloodstream. To attract the neutrophils to the damaged area, inflamed endothelial cells in the capillaries send out chemicals that act like homing devices. And when the neutrophils arrive, they cling to the capillary walls near the injury, flatten themselves out, and squeeze through the vessel walls to get to work. Your big monocytes eventually roll up to the battle and transform into hungry macrophages, replacing the first line of now dead neutrophils and basically just eating up any lingering enemies and then cleaning up the carnage. Now, all this works pretty well in most circumstances, but you may have noticed with a more major injury or an especially nasty virus or infection, sometimes your local troops get overrun. When white blood cells and macrophages run into more foreign invaders than they can handle, they let loose pyrogen chemicals that tap the hypothalamus and raise your body's thermostat, calling in a systemic fever to burn everything. The resulting temperature rise increases the metabolism of your cells so they can heal faster, and it also tells the liver and spleen to hold on to all of their iron and zinc so those things can't contribute to bacterial growth. But even then, sometimes you find yourself facing a more formidable foe. That's when you call in the specialists, your adaptive immune defenses.
Yeah, it's a lot. So I highly recommend that you get a pen and you take notes however you take your notes. And also watch the show again and again, because we're going to be covering a lot of information in this show. And somebody, Toy says, loving the biology lesson. This is taking us back to school, y'all, back to biology class. But it's really important that you understand all of this. And as you can tell so far, that's just one level that we talked about, the innate system. We haven't even gotten to the adaptive as yet, which we're going to go to in the next segment of the show. But as you can tell, just from what we've heard so far, your immune system is extremely intelligent. Very, very, very intelligent system. This isn't a system that, was put together with, chewing gum and this ain't a MacGyver type of system. Y'all too young. If y'all younger folks ain't gonna know what I talk about when I say MacGyver. There used to be a show back in the day with MacGyver who used to, use chewing gum and a toothpick to make a bomb, whatever. But no, this was really put together well. I mean, intelligent system that is really designed to handle so much that comes its way. And I think that in this whole question of our approach to the coronavirus pandemic, we need to stop ignoring the obvious, which is that you have an incredible immune system that knows how to do its job. I often ask the question when people talk about, people who don't get vaccinated are so irresponsible because you need to be vaccinated to that's the only way to save your life with this pandemic, and my question is, so how did all of the millions of people survive before the vaccine came to market? All of those millions of people who survived the coronavirus. without a vaccine. How in the world did they survive if your only hope at beating this is a vaccine? How did they survive? Well, I can tell you how they survived. They had an immune system that worked. Millions of people did not survive. They did not. Let's be honest. Millions of people have died, over 4 million around the world. I dare say that many of them, if not most of them, if not all of them, but, the vast majority of them died because their immune system was not able to handle the coronavirus. Why? Because they had another condition going on that weakened their immune system. And so it was just too much, and their bodies couldn't handle it. But for people who have a healthy immune system, how is it that all those millions of people survived before a vaccine if your only hope to beat COVID is a vaccine? Somebody please make it make sense. Please explain that to me. I'm waiting. Just make it make sense. Okay, so we are now going to take a quick break. On the other side of the break, we're going to look at the adaptive immune system. And this is important because it is the adaptive immune system that vaccines use to do their job. I've said repeatedly on this show that a vaccine within itself is pointless if you don't have a functioning immune system, because all the vaccine does is trigger a response in your immune system. So we go right back to square one, the immune system. So we're going to talk about the adaptive immune system on the other side of the break, and then you will get a better understanding of how vaccines work along with your immune system to do their job. This is GPS, and we'll be back after these words from our sponsors. For all your building needs, it's Carib Construction and Project Management on Gladstone Road. We build it all: schools, homes, hotels, and more, including structures requiring a Phase 3 electrical contractor. We also provide project management services. The first step towards your dream building begins at Carib Construction and Project Management. Call us at 376-1556 or 341-4466.
Executive Printers is your one-stop shop for all your branding and customization needs. Letterheads, envelopes, business cards, invoices, share and gift certificates, rubber stamps, vouchers, funeral programs, brochures, flyers, banners, and promotional items like mugs, water bottles, mouse pads, and key rings. All with personable service and great quality. No project is too small or too large. For great turnaround and competitive pricing, make an executive decision. Call us at 393-5011.
At Lee Air, safety is our number one priority. Flying since 1996, we offer scheduled flights into Fresh Creek and Mangrove Key Andros and Great Harbor Key, Berry Island, twice daily, 7 days a week. Affordable charter services are also available to anywhere in the Bahamas and the Caribbean. Lee Air Charter Services. Call 225-3267, 702-7127, or 322-1317 for reservations.
Your body's immune system is under constant pressure from things like stress, lack of exercise, and toxins in the environment. It's crucial to be proactive and support your immune system with the nutrients it needs to function effectively. But it's often hard to get these nutrients from food alone. Introducing fast-acting Zinc Plus Immune Support by Longevity. Unlike zinc-only supplements, Zinc Plus Immune Support builds on the proven power of zinc and adds complementary nutrients to give your immune system extra support. Vitamin D helps balance the effects of zinc, while our proprietary blend of natural fruit and root extracts provides the extra help your immune system needs to work against daily stressors. And we've included Longevity's exclusive plant-derived minerals to give your body the minerals it needs, but can't get from food alone. And because Zinc Plus Immune Support is delivered in a great-tasting, sugar-free, berry-flavored lozenge, it encourages quicker absorption of all these nutrients into your body. Zinc Plus Immune Support. Zinc plus the extra support your body needs to promote a healthy immune system. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
This portion of GPS is brought to you by Alive. Alive. Believe in best. and by tropical gyros. Not just good food, it's an experience. And we are back. Welcome back to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Glory 93.9 FM. Michelle Malcolm in your company. Today we are talking about your immune system. And for obvious reasons, I'm pretty sure can understand why I chose this topic today. Calling the show Detect, Deflect, Destroy, Understanding Your Immune System. Would love to hear from you. The telephone line is 828-3543. 828-3543. 828-3543 is the number to call. And our text line is 828-2543. 828-2543 is the text line. Let's go to a couple of your comments. So Bertha says, thank God for life, health, and strength. Amen. Toy says, they are saying your immune system is strengthened with the vaccine. A vaccine never in the history of vaccines has strengthened an immune system. All it does is triggers your immune system to respond. That's what it does. So you may have heard them say that it triggers your immune response. It maybe strengthens your immune response, but it can't strengthen your immune system. No such thing. Impossible. Claudette says, good morning, Michelle. Good morning, Bahamas. Yeah, hi, Claudette. Sarah says, the only thing that can strengthen your immune system is a healthy diet, nutrients. Okay, so let's get back into it. So in the first portion of the show, you heard about your innate immune system. Well, now we're going to talk more about your adaptive immune system. To defeat your enemy, it would help if you knew your enemy, eh? That is true in war, and it is true in your body as well. Sooner or later, a threat is going to come along that is stronger than what the first responders can handle. First responders being the innate immune system. And that's when it's time for your adaptive or acquired immune system to kick in. So while your innate immune system takes its zero tolerance policy very, very seriously, and tries to destroy any foreign microbe it encounters, your adaptive immune system does things differently. It has to be introduced to a specific pathogen and recognize it as a threat before it will attack. Okay? And as the name suggests, you're not born with a working adaptive immune system. It is slow to act because it takes time to get to know so many pathogens. And this is why people are, excited about vaccines, because what vaccines do is it sort of speeds up the process for your body to recognize a pathogen. So these introductions to your adaptive immune system may be organic. In other words, you touch a dirty surface, somebody sneezes around you, or they could be premeditated, which is where vaccines come in. But once it has been introduced to a potential threat, your adaptive defenses never forget it. I want to repeat that. Once it is introduced to a particular threat, your adaptive immune system never forgets it. So this would explain why if you got mumps as a child, chances are you won't get mumps as an adult, because your adaptive immune system will recognize that right away and know what to do, know how to deal with it. This ability to remember specific pathogens is one of the key differences between the adaptive and the innate defenses. Another main difference is adaptive immunity is systematic rather than being restricted to a particular infection. So your adaptive system can fight throughout your whole body at once. And it does this by deploying one or both of its separate but cooperating defenses that are called your humoral immunity or your cellular defenses. Let's learn more about them. Clip number 2. Sorry, clip number 3.
Humoral immunity, which you might not have heard of before, works by dispatching important proteins that I'm sure you have heard of, antibodies. They're made by special white blood cells, and they patrol the body's humors, or fluids like blood and lymph, where they combat viruses and bacteria moving around the interstitial space between your cells. Much of what you know or have heard about or think of when your immune system comes up actually has to do with your humoral immunity. It's why if you had mumps as a kid, you probably don't have to worry about getting it again for the rest of your life. One of the first steps in any good defensive strategy is to be able to tell your friend from your foe. And in the case of your immune system, that means being able to identify antigens. An antigen could be an invader from the outside world, like a bacterium, virus, or fungus, or it could be a toxin or a diseased cell within your own body. But in any case, antigens are large signaling molecules not normally found in the body, and they act as flags that get the adaptive immune system riled up. So let's say flu virus gets inside of you, and it's floating around trying to find a good host cell to start multiplying inside of. Before it finds that cell, hopefully it will be paid a visit by one of the stars of your humoral response, a B lymphocyte. Like all blood cells, these guys originate in your bone marrow, but unlike other white blood cells, they also mature in the bone marrow too. And as a B cell matures, it develops the ability to determine friend from foe, developing both immunocompetence, or how to recognize and bind to a particular antigen, as well as self-tolerance, or knowing how to not attack your body's own cells. Once it's fully mature, a B lymphocyte displays at least 10,000 special protein receptors on its surface. These are its membrane-bound antibodies. All B lymphocytes have them, but the cool thing is every individual lymphocyte has its own unique antibodies, each of which is ready to identify and bind to a particular kind of antigen. That means that with all of your B lymphocytes together, it's like having 2 billion keys on your immune system's keychain, each of which can only open one door. So part of your immune system's strategy is just to win with overwhelming odds. The more unique antibodies your lymphocytes have, the more likely it is that one will eventually find, bind to, and mark a particular antigen. Once they've matured, B cells colonize or seed your secondary lymphoid organs like your lymph nodes and start roaming around in your blood and lymph. At this point, they're still naive and untested, and they won't be truly activated until they meet their perfect enemy match. Which brings us back to the flu virus. When the right B cell finally bumps into an antigen it has antibodies for, usually in a lymph node or in the spleen, and recognizes it, it binds to it. This summons the full power of the humoral immune response, and the cell basically goes into berserker mode. Once activated, the B cell starts cloning itself like crazy, quickly producing an army of similar cells, all with the instructions for the exact same antibodies that are designed to fight that one particular antigen. Most of these clones become active fighters or effector cells, but a few become long-lived memory cells that preserve the genetic code for that specific successful antibody. This ensures that if and when the antigen returns, there will be a prepared secondary immune response that's both stronger and faster than the first. But while the memory cells are just there to hang back and record things, the effector, or plasma cells, are packed with extra amounts of rough endoplasmic reticulum, which acts as an antibody factory. These cells can mass produce the same antibodies over and over for that particular invader, spitting them out into the humor at a rate of around 2,000 antibodies per second for 4 or 5 days until they die. And the antibodies they make work the same way that the membrane-bound ones do. They're just free-floating. So they ride the tides of blood and lymph, binding to all the antigens they can find and marking them for death. Now, antibodies can't really do the killing themselves, but they do have a few moves that could make it hard for intruders to take hold. One of their most effective and common strategies is neutralization, where antibodies physically block the binding sites on viruses or bacterial toxins so they can't hook up to your tissues. And because antibodies have more than one binding site, they can bind to multiple antigens at the same time in a process called agglutination. The resulting clumps can't get around easily, which makes it easier for macrophages to come and gobble them up. And not only that, but while all this is going on, antibodies are also ringing a chemical dinner bell, calling in phagocytes from the innate immune system and special lymphocytes from the adaptive system to destroy these messy little antigen-antibody clumps. So the point of all of this in the short term is to keep you healthy, but in the long term, this process also adds to your overall immunity. The humoral response allows your body to achieve immunity by encountering pathogens either randomly or on purpose. Active humoral immunity is what we were just talking about. It's when B cells bump into antigens and start cranking out antibodies. This can occur naturally, like when you catch the flu or get chickenpox or pick up some nasty bacterial infection, or it can happen artificially, particularly through vaccination. Most vaccines are made of a dead or extremely weakened named pathogen, and they work on the premise that because a secondary immune response is more intense than a primary response, by introducing a pathogen into your body, you're priming it to fight hard and fast should that antigen show up again. In the case of typically non-fatal infections like the common flu, this immunity should at least spare you from some of the most severe symptoms. But in the case of more serious diseases like polio, smallpox, measles, and whooping cough, vaccinations can be truly life-saving. Now, some antigens, like those for mumps or measles, don't really change much over time, so a few immunizations will leave you set for life. But others, like influenza, are constantly evolving and changing their surface antigens, so immunity to last year's flu probably doesn't work against this year's flu. Still, acquired immunity doesn't have to be active. Babies, for example, naturally obtain passive humoral immunity while still in the womb. They receive ready-made antibodies from their mothers through the placenta and later on through breast milk. And that works pretty well for a few months, but the protection is temporary because passively obtained antibodies don't live long in their new body, and they can't produce effector cells or memory cells, so a baby's own system won't remember an antigen if it gets infected again. You can also acquire this kind of temporary passive immunity artificially by receiving exogenous antibodies from the plasma of an immune donor. This is what recently saved some doctors and nurses who had contracted the Ebola virus from infected patients. A serum was made from the blood plasma of other medical workers who had been infected and survived. But B cells and antibodies are only part of the immunity equation. There are plenty of pathogens that quickly worm their way right inside your cells, where they're safer from the humoral response and free to multiply as much as they'd like. Luckily, your immune system has yet another game plan and a new set of players ready to fight that final battle with cell-to-cell combat.
Okay, so a couple of things that he said that I think we need to consider when it comes to this coronavirus pandemic. And he talked about how mutations in the flu virus, your body may not be able to recognize the new mutation, which is why you have to have booster shots every year. Well, we're already hearing that you're going to have additional booster shots to deal with these mutations that are coming up with the coronavirus. And I think it's very important that we understand that this, at least some of the vaccines that are being produced, because I believe the Chinese vaccine did go the traditional route of using dead virus to create their vaccine. But others like the mRNA vaccines, meaning Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, this is a totally new technology. They have not taken that approach. So their approach is, in essence, to turn your body into the vaccine so that your body produces the spike protein. Because this is new technology, they really don't know what the long-term effects of that are going to be, particularly seeing that the spike protein, which was injected in the arm with the idea that it would stay in the arm area. And again, every time I hear that, I'm like, why would you think it would stay in the arm area? Anyway, what they've discovered is that the spike protein has not stayed in the general area where people were injected, and now it's going throughout people's bodies, finding it in the bone marrow and in women's ovaries and men's testes. And I mean, it's going throughout the body. And they really don't know what the long-term effects of that are going to be. So this isn't your typical vaccine. This isn't like the polio vaccine that we took when we were growing up. It's different because it's brand new technology that comes from a totally different angle in terms of its way to fight the coronavirus. Also, this vaccine, as is now becoming more and more evident, obviously does not stop you from contracting it or passing it on. And that's a big difference between this and other traditional vaccines. This does not stop you from contracting it or passing it on. This is supposedly going to stop you from becoming what they call clinically ill, that you become so ill that you have to be hospitalized. They say it's very effective for that. But as we are now seeing in increasing cases, people who are vaccinated are spreading this thing. And with the Delta variant, many fully vaccinated people are now coming down with full-blown COVID that they do have to be hospitalized, some dying. And so again, I go back to square one, because I think that the approach to this pandemic, for whatever reason, has missed a very important key component, and that is focusing on your immune system. And one of the things I was really very happy to hear the doctors say last night was exactly that. They said, when you bring in somebody to educate them about this, although the education is lacking on the vaccine, they just tell you, take it, take it, take it, take it. They're really not telling you what the components are, what it's made of, what it can do. They ain't telling you none of that. They're not even telling the doctors that. But one of the things that they said on that show last evening was, at the same time that you bring people in, at the same time you should be saying to them, this is what you need to do to support your immune system, because this works with your immune system. But they're not doing that. And truth be told, if your immune system is compromised, if you have a comorbidity, if you have some other condition that has your immune system compromised, or if you're doing something to damage your gut, because remember now, 70% of your immune system is found in your gut, right? So gut health is extremely important to your immune system. If you are doing things to damage your gut, if you're eating gluten, wheat, barley, rye, oats, if you're destroying the villi on your epithelial cells, which are the apparatus that's responsible for absorbing nutrients from the foods that you eat or from the supplements that you take into your bloodstream, and then taking them to your various organs to perform their duties. So if all your villi have shrunk and gone dead because you've been eating bad foods, right, for 50 years, 60 years, right? So instead of looking like a shag rug, your gut now looks like a tube, because all of the villi have been destroyed. So you're not absorbing anything. You're not absorbing nutrients, right? So now you can't get any nutrients in your bloodstream. The nutrients that aren't getting into your bloodstream clearly aren't going to make it to, say, your bone marrow, right? Because your bone marrow is what is responsible for creating the white blood cells, etc., to respond to the trigger of a vaccine. If you decided to get a vaccine, that's a major component of what your bone marrow is supposed to do, to create the white blood cells, so that when the vaccine triggers you to respond, you can actually respond. Your immune system can actually respond. But if your immune system is damaged and compromised, if your villi is dead, if you're not absorbing any nutrients into your bloodstream, which are not getting to your bone marrow and your other organs to make them function and respond, somebody please explain to me how it's going to respond to the trigger. How? Somebody please explain that to me. I have yet to hear it. And my ears are wide open. I'm listening. But I need somebody to explain that to me. And so I just think it is very disingenuous to only be giving one side of the story as it relates to what you can do to protect yourself from COVID. They're not giving you the full story. They're not giving you the full story. And now more and more we're seeing reports come in from around the world where fully vaccinated people are coming down with full-blown COVID, having to be hospitalized. One of the reasons why the CDC just changed its mind again about the mask mandate. Originally they said that people who are fully vaccinated didn't have to wear masks. Now they're saying they do have to wear the mask. Why? Because they are realizing now, in Massachusetts in particular, I think there were 74 people who were fully vaccinated who came down with full-blown COVID. And that's just what was reported. And so they realize now, okay, these people who are vaccinated still spreading this thing. So we need for them to go back to wearing the mask. Even here in the Bahamas, after our competent authorities said we were in 2 pandemics and people who vaccinated, the pandemic is over for them. Now our government is saying that even if you're fully vaccinated to come into this country, you have to now also have a negative test. Even if you're fully vaccinated, you got to be tested before you come into this country. So you think the competent authority is ready to go back on his idiotic statement about there being 2 pandemics, and if you've been vaccinated, you out of the pandemic over for you? You think he's ready to take that back yet? Or you think he think we can just forget he said that? And you see, it's this kind of foolishness that they are spewing that are making people very suspicious of their motives. Because anybody with half a brain knew from the moment that came out of his mouth that that was utter foolishness. With half a brain. Only half. But this is the kind of stuff that they put out there, and then they wonder why people don't trust them. They wonder why there's vaccine hesitancy. When you're going to make a stupid statement like that, you wondering why people don't trust you? And now you got to come back on your own statement and tell these people who vaccinated, if you want to come in here, you better have a negative test. I ain't care if you're vaccinated or not. Why is that? Why is that? Clearly, now they realize that even vaccinated people, some people argue, especially vaccinated people, are spreading COVID. So this is where we are at, people. This is where we are at. You know, Marvin Dame said something this week, and I fully agree with him. You need to take responsibility for your own health. You need to take responsibility. You can't sit back and rely on the authorities to be responsible for your health, because they have been saying and doing some things that are very suspect. So you need to take responsibility for your health. I am not saying, listen, we need to continue to sanitize. We need to continue to social distance. We need to continue to what else they say? Wear your mask, all that good stuff. We need to continue to do that. We need to stop congregating in these large groupings, et cetera, you know, without those restrictions in place, without, you know, protecting yourself. We need to stop being silly about this. But at the same time, our authorities need to start being honest and stop spewing foolishness out of their mouth in their desperate attempt to convince people to take a vaccine. It's just ludicrous. And then you won't act all surprised when people are hesitant. Like, we so stupid, we can't figure out that you talking foolishness. Take responsibility for your own health, people. Understand how your immune system works and do what you need to do to strengthen it. Because for whatever reason, they ain't telling you that even if you take a vaccine, you still need a functioning immune system. Otherwise, the vaccine is pointless. Why they ain't telling you that? I do not know. But you need to work on your immune system. And we're going to talk about on the other side of the break exactly what you can do to boost up your immune system, strengthen your immune system so that you're not left to the wolves. So we're going to talk about that on the other side of the break. Stay with us. This is GPS, and today we're talking all about your immune system, helping you to understand how it functions. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors.
Looking for an extraordinary junior high school with caring, qualified staff and affordable tuition? Then come visit us at Elite School of Excellence, an affiliate of First Step Academy. ABECA-focused and Ministry of Education approved, we foster discipline, integrity, and wisdom while molding our students for success. Call us at 341-8846 or stop by First Step Academy Schools on Fire Trail and Soldy Roads for more information.
It's gotten harder and harder to get your daily requirement of vital nutrients from food alone. Without additional vitamin and nutrient support, your health and well-being can suffer drastically. That's why Z-Radical was specifically formulated. It combines a blend of antioxidant-rich vitamins, minerals, and botanicals with the protective powers of fucoidan to help fill the gaps from lack of nutrients in your foods. The core of Z-Radical is fucoidan, a naturally occurring polysaccharide that helps stimulate immune reaction, protecting you against inflammation and oxidative stress. We harvest this powerful mineral-rich nutrient from brown seaweed, harvested only from the world's most pristine ocean waters to ensure the purest quality. It's then extracted using cold process technology to ensure maximum levels of bioavailability. Then we add essential vitamins that help to protect your cardiovascular and nervous systems. and are crucial for optimal immune and neurological function. Z-Radical also includes a proprietary blend of delicious antioxidant-rich fruits and berries. This great-tasting combination helps your body combat free radical imbalances that can contribute to a variety of degenerative conditions like arthritis and heart disease. Z-Radical. Experience the power of fucoidan with antioxidant-rich berries, 8 essential vitamins, and more to provide you with potent health benefits. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Escape from the city life to Bacon Air Beach Resort in Pirateswell, Mayaguana. Relax in one of 16 air-conditioned rooms just steps away from the ocean. Enjoy scrumptious dishes in our waterfront dining room. Sip on a tropical cocktail, or if you must, stay connected with wireless internet. Nestled on one of the most beautiful beaches in the Bahamas, Bacon Air Beach Resort offers a unique vacation experience. For reservations, call 339-3726 or 463-0182. This portion of GPS is brought to you by Easy Car Sales, home of the electric vehicle. Visit easy242.com and free yourself from gas.
And we are back. Welcome back to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Glory 93.9 FM. Michelle Malcolm in your company. Today we are talking all about understanding your immune system. And this is an extremely important conversation in the wake of the coronavirus pandemic. So today we're talking about detect, deflect, destroy. Understanding how your immune system works. Would love to hear from you. Our telephone line is 828-3543, 828-3543, 828-3543 is the number to call. And our text line is 828-2543, 828-2543 is the text line. All right, so let me read a couple of your comments, and then we're going to move on to the next segment. So Jamila says, they don't seem to know what the short-term effects are as well. This is truly an experiment. She also says, how about criminal behavior? Crazy, crazy. And she says, they are shedders. She's talking about people who are vaccinated. They are. So Claudette says, he's not going to take it back, Michelle, because he claims it's the unvaccinated people are spreading COVID. So why are you telling people who got a vaccine that they need to have a test to come in here? Things that make you go, we're not stupid. We can see what's going on. All right. It's just so ridiculous. Okay. So Jamila says, if we follow the science, the decision on the jab should be clear. The chance of getting the virus and fully recovering has the best odds. All right. Claudette says, more and more persons are coming out. I was watching Dr. Archer last night, and she has Dr. Misty Prince and Dr. Culmer and a few more doctors on, and the discussion was about what to do to prevent you from COVID instead of running for a vaccine. Yeah, that's the show that I'm referencing. Somebody sent me the link to it, and I watched it. I think one of those doctors was Dr. Kevin Bethel as well. And they talked about how they've had good success in their private practices using other methods to treat people. So their question as doctors is, why are we not also embracing other methods? And this is the same thing I have been questioning and asking and saying for weeks. If we are truly, truly more concerned about saving as many people as we can, about doing everything that we can to help people, why are we putting all our eggs into this one basket? Why not embrace every method that could possibly help, especially if you have medical doctors who are saying we are having great success using ivermectin. We are using this, we're using that. We're having great success. 80%, I think Dr. Bethel was saying, I think it was Dr. Bethel, one of them was saying 80% success rate using other methods, but they're being ignored. Why? If you really so concerned about helping your people, why is this only one message? Why? Ah, boy, I tell you. It's just very suspect. It's very suspect. I'm sorry. And you know, I want to encourage everyone to do what you need to do to make sure that your immune system is good and healthy, because that remains the foundation to all of this. That remains the starting point. It all begins and ends on your immune system. Even if you take a vaccine, and especially if you don't, your immune system better be working. Otherwise, you're still going to be in trouble, you know? So it is important to know what we can do to support our immune systems. You would have heard Dr. Wallach in the very first clip I played in the show talk about the fact that your immune system can't work, you know, unless you give it the support it needs. We believe in 90 nutrients, 90 micronutrients. So you're talking 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 3 essential fatty acids. That's what we believe your body needs to function, just, you know, function regularly. And so your immune system obviously needs nutritional support in order for it to do its job. The problem is that we're not getting it in our foods anymore. We're not getting the level of nutrition that our bodies need in our foods anymore because of modern farming techniques, depleted soils, genetically modified foods. You're just not getting it all through food alone. It's impossible. So you really need to add to, even if you're eating organic, you need to add to your arsenal micronutrients to ensure that your body is getting what it needs. And so there are some nutrients that do very, very well in helping your immune system to function better. Let's go to clip number 4.
The immune system. It's a complex network of cells, tissues, and organs. It works around the clock to keep you healthy and to support recovery when illnesses strike. But it can't succeed on its own. It needs proper nutrition, as 70% of the immune system is located in the gut. Here are 7 crucial nutrients to support your immune system. Protein is a macronutrient needed for the production of immune system cells and antibodies. Find it in meat, fish, beans and legumes, dairy, tofu. Vitamin C helps build healthy skin, which is a barrier to microorganisms. Good sources are broccoli, bell peppers, kiwi fruit, citrus. Vitamin A helps keep the tissues in the nose, stomach, intestines, and the respiratory system healthy. It also helps regulate the immune system. Good sources are eggs, fish, spinach. Vitamin E is a powerful antioxidant that fights free radicals that damage immune system cells. Good sources are almonds, vegetable oils, sunflower seeds. Vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin that helps activate and regulate immune system cells. Good sources are fatty fish, egg yolks, fortified orange juice, and milk. Zinc is an essential mineral which supports synthesis of new immune cells to help respond to infections and illnesses. Good sources are beans, shellfish, nuts. Omega-3 fatty acids are known to reduce inflammation and keep the immune system in check. Good sources are walnuts, chia seed, fatty fish. Good nutrition plays a vital role by providing key nutrients for immune health support. Every single bite can make a difference.
Let your food be your medicine and your medicine be your food. Now, remember, we don't advocate that you use oils because of the oxidization process. So even though an oil may have some good qualities, the problem is as long as it sits in that container, there is air in the container, and that is oxidizing the oil. So it pretty much, you know, becomes a problem for you once you consume it. But you have to nutrify your body. You have to stop, and we're going to talk in a minute about what you have to stop doing, because there's some bad habits that we have that are helping to weaken our immune systems every day. I definitely going to talk about that. But we have to spend a minute or two talking about the nutrients, micronutrients, because again, your immune system needs those building blocks, your entire body, really. But your immune system needs the building blocks of nutrients, micronutrients, in order for it to successfully do its job. And if you are eating foods that are, nutritionally barren, so in other words, you eat a lot of food that is processed. Most of your food comes out of a box, or you eat a lot of fast foods, or or non-organic that's sprayed with all kinds of chemicals, or genetically modified foods that have no nutritional value. Then you're not giving your body the building blocks that it needs to function. And so when something comes along, and especially if you're damaging your gut, if your gut is damaged on top of that, and you're not absorbing the little nutrients that you're getting, you're going to be in trouble. You're going to be in trouble. One of the things that Dr. Wallach talks about, I didn't prepare this particular clip for today's show. I think I aired it on a previous show. But one of the things that he explains is why little children who come down with COVID, generally speaking, have a much better time at it than people who are older. And his theory is that somebody who's 65 has been eating gluten for 63 years. So their villi is pretty much dead, gone, not absorbing any nutrients. And so if you're not absorbing nutrients, your body will break down, even before COVID. And this is why we have comorbidities, why comorbidities account for 68% of deaths worldwide, 68%. And so it's because people's bodies aren't being, given the adequate amounts of nutrition. So your body starts to degenerate. It starts to break down. And then when something comes your way like COVID, your immune system is so weakened, it can't respond. And so when you are, in your 60s, 70s, or whatever, and you've been damaging your body for so long, not nutrifying your body, and you come along and get COVID, you're going to have a hard time fighting that thing. Whereas a little kid, 3-year-old, has only been eating gluten maybe a year, so their villi is still pretty much very healthy. And they can fight that thing off easily. And so you have to not only nutrify your body, but you have to also ensure that you're not doing anything to damage the body. I always tell people that no amount of nutrition can outdo a poor diet. So if I'm going to work with you, one of the things I'm going to do is give you a food diary. I'm going to give you the good foods, bad foods list. And you have to make a commitment that you're going to follow that good foods, bad foods list. You're going to every day put entries into your food diary to show yourself exactly what you're eating. And you're going to make a commitment to eat better, because there is no amount of nutrition that will outdo a poor diet. None. I don't care how much nutrients you take in. If you are eating poorly, if you destroying your gut every time you decide that you have to have that bowl of oatmeal, because I hear that a lot when I'm talking to clients and I say, you got to get off the gluten. What? But I love my oatmeal. Yeah, but it don't love you back. So you got to find another way. Now, luckily in the food store, you have a lot of options. I've seen gluten-free oatmeal. I've never tried it, but I've seen it. So you've got a lot of options in the food store nowadays. Gluten-free cereals, gluten-free cookies, gluten-free crackers, gluten-free bread, gluten-free flour, everything you can think of that you get regular gluten, it's in the food store gluten-free. It's there. It's just a matter of switching brands. But you have to stop doing the damage to your body. And, I one of the things that I smile at is when I hear people who are pushing for the vaccine say, well, you can't incentivize people to eat healthier. You incentivizing them to take a vaccine. And if there's any time that people are interested in being healthier, it's now. This is an opportunity. They say in every adversity there's an opportunity. This is exactly what one of the doctors said on that show last evening. This is a missed opportunity because now more than ever, people around the world are concerned about their health. This is the time to get the message in front of them to say, now this is what you need to do to strengthen your immune system. This is what you need to do to be healthier in general. This is the time. This is the opportunity. Now they listening. Because everybody's concerned. They listening now. And it's the one time you can say, well, we can't incentivize people to. Really? Y'all ain't serious. If you think that you can't, in the midst of a global pandemic, convince people that they need to eat healthier so that they could not be a victim of that pandemic, you ain't serious. And, not everybody's going to do it. I'm not sitting here being naive. Not everybody's willing to do it, but they don't take care of themselves at their own risk. They don't take care of themselves at their own risk. If they know that this virus is out there, they know that we are in the midst of a pandemic, and if they still decide that they want to smoke and drink hard and eat fast food every day, they have made a choice. They have chosen to be more susceptible to COVID. That's a choice. But at least give people the information, at least try to incentivize them to eat well, to do better in terms of caring for their own health. And I dare say that some will follow the instructions, but you're not even giving them the instructions. You only got one instruction: take the vaccine and shut up. Something got to be wrong with that picture, man. Something has to be wrong with that picture. But who am I? I'm just a conspiracy theorist. I was so happy to hear those doctors last night. I said, my Lord, the same message I've been pushing for months is exactly what these medical doctors are saying. I was very, very encouraged last night. Very encouraged. Because sometimes, you're trying to put the truth out there and you're being attacked and you could get tired. Sometimes I get tired, y'all. I'm like, is this even worth it? You trying to put the truth out there and they coming for your jugular. And sometimes you just get tired. But that show last evening really, really encouraged me. It truly did. I must say I was encouraged by that show because the same message, what I've been trying to push, is the very same message these medical doctors came up with. And I was like, thank you, Lord. This is validation for me. We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Thanks, Michelle. How are you doing this morning?
Great. How are you?
I'm trying to get over the flu. I
need to strengthen that immune system.
Man, look here. The person can say, "Oh, go get your PCR test, man." That sounds like COVID.
You know what kills me about this whole COVID situation? People act like conditions that existed before. Yeah, like. Somebody died the other day from I think what was it? It's a respiratory thing. They had pneumonia, I think.
Pneumonia.
Yeah, and went into the hospital and unfortunately contracted COVID in the hospital and then died. And so when I was talking to somebody about it, and the first thing they said was, well, the Delta variant, they say pneumonia. And I'm like, pneumonia existed before COVID, All these things ain't just disappear because COVID come around. But anyhow, I digress.
A good friend of mine, we were cool for a long time. Last year, he was feeling bad. Had flu-like symptoms. Went to the doctor. The doctor's diagnosis was bronchitis.
Mm-hmm.
When he came to the doctor, stuffy and whatnot, but he said, "Boy, Chris, this could be COVID by the time I have to take my PCR test." And it was, yeah, of course, you know that already. But the thing about it is, what I really wanted to address, and I've been listening to the show, the clips that you have about the immune system and whatnot, there's a lot of information, man, but look at I'm gonna touch the point that you mentioned initially about us being wonderfully made, and it completely invalidates the whole nonsensical evolutionary theory and whatnot. because it's impossible for us to be made
That
this
fearfully
way.
and wonderfully made, but does it? It
It's
just happened.
ridiculous.
Gotta be
It's
stupid
ridiculous.
if you believe that.
What really also gets me is the fact that a good doctor, a good brother minister, he mentions that the bush medicine, the bush medicine is not effective at treating COVID-19. It seems like he mentioned any other disease, for that matter. And it baffles me because the pharma industry, the pharma companies, the basis for them synthesizing their treatment, their medicines, and whatnot, it's from the plants.
It's the same bush.
the bush.
Yep. The same one would go work.
I'm wondering, if he bought his medical degree. I wondered, where does he get his information? He has to be. Listen to me. He must be putting out there and just trying to tickle us and make us laugh.
He just has to follow. I believe that it's a global agenda that has to be followed. If you notice, all of the leaders are saying they're reading from the same script. He just has to follow an agenda. He's trying to follow an agenda. That's my personal belief.
Michelle, I understand that. I appreciate that. Okay, he feels pressure. Okay, that's all well and good. But I mean, you can't treat Bahamians like they do nothing at all. Like that, we're not a learned people. I mean, yes, they're saying that educational average is low, whatever the case is. But I mean, come on, man, you have some smart Bahamians right here. And a lot of us are very intelligent. We use our heads. For you to say that bush medicine is not effective, you tell that to my great grandmother who died when she was 110 years old.
Yeah, but she didn't die from COVID though. There wasn't no COVID around that.
I mean, a majority of our great grandparents, our grandparents who ate from the land, who used bush remedies, that they outlived all of us and probably will outlive all of us. For him to say some dumb foolishness like that, I mean, I'm wondering, if he needs to be mentally evaluated, because that sounds like a bunch of foolishness.
I just think though that he was trying to be, I mean, people, we have to be careful. COVID is no, thing to take lightly. And somebody might think, oh, I just got to go drink some Cersei and I good. And they probably, I'm not saying that Cersei is bad. Cersei is obviously good for you, but you may need more than just Cersei. So that is what I think he was trying to say. That's what I think he was trying to say.
Michelle, don't even try to justify it.
I just,
any kind of way you try to justify our good brother minister statement, it just doesn't make sense. I've been trying to look at it from all angles to try to find some semblance of, I can't find it. I cannot find it. Think about this. The old Star Trek, for example. The aliens used to call the humans carbon-based life forms. Okay?
So you're going way back.
Yeah, I got to go there. Because see, this is the basis of Dr. Sebi's whole ideology. Called as carbon-based life forms. Because, like the good book says, we from the dust. Okay? We are carbon and water. That's all the human body is made of. Okay? And as simple as this is, it takes a carbon-based life form to heal a carbon organism. The plants are also made from carbon. Okay? Every ailment known to the human body, excuse me, the plants possess the healing factor for everything that ails the human body. Even the plants that if we ingest it orally and it poisons us, those plants are good for burns, scrapes, cuts.
The Bible says the healing is in the herbs. I think the problem is we just ain't discover a lot of it, or that they have discovered it, but they're trying to synthesize it for monetary purposes.
It's very simple, Michelle.
Yeah.
It's very simple, Michelle. Look at. I'll leave on this note because I'm long-winded at times. When it comes around to cancer, for example, very very easy. Sour salt. Sour salt attacks cancer cells.
Mm-hmm.
So that's old news.
Mm-hmm.
Sour salt attacks cancer cells. Just for some reason, it just goes crazy when it comes in contact with cancer cells.
The leaves, yeah.
That goes with boiling the leaf, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Sour salt.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just one example.
Mm-hmm.
There are countless others. Okay, so for our prime ministers to say some foolishness like that, I think we need to get him evaluated.
Yeah, man, he just following an agenda, man. He just, following an agenda. That's a global agenda. All them reading from the same script. You close your eye and you ain't sure which one of them talking. Because they all say the same thing. So clearly,
Another thing too, and I promise I'll leave after this. Biden is, it's already started now. Biden is making it mandatory for military personnel to be vaccinated, federal workers to be vaccinated. If you want to get government contracts, your workers or yourself even has to be vaccinated. They're trying to floor the gas on this agenda right now, and as I'm guessing, as you said, that they're reading from the same script.
You see what's going on in Europe. Them people in Europe, they ain't playing with them. There is a serious resistance going on in Europe, and let Biden keep going. These American people won't stand up to him. And there is a lot of murmuring and whispering that they may be trying to go in the same direction here, where they make it mandatory for you to take a vaccine.
That's what I'm saying.
It's just madness. Really, it is. Just madness. It's madness. But
Michelle, I could drink my orange juice and drink my moringa.
Just make sure you get those 90 nutrients. You need more than orange juice and moringa. But once you get the 90 nutrients, your immune system is working well. You're going to be fine, man. You're going to be fine.
Once I listen to your show, I can knock this out in another 24 hours.
Yeah, you shouldn't be getting the flu in the first place. So that tells you that your immune system is weakened, and you need to do something to strengthen that, honestly.
Oh, Lord.
No, seriously.
Lord.
If you, there's some key signs that your immune system is in trouble. One of them is that you get frequent colds or flus. Another one is if you have tummy troubles, because remember now, 70% of your immune system is found in your gut. So if you're constantly having tummy troubles, then you know there's something going on with your immune system. Another sign is if your wounds are slow to heal. If your wounds are slow to heal, that's a clear sign that you have a problem with your immune system. If you're always under high levels of stress, chances are your immune system is being compromised. But here's the big one that people, don't seem to realize. If you have a chronic, non-communicable disease, or what they call comorbidity, if you have high blood pressure, or diabetes, or cancer, or kidney failure, or lupus, or obesity, or I could go on and on and on and on and on. There's so many. But if you have a chronic, non-communicable disease, your immune system is weakened. And this is why the people who have, for the most part, been succumbing to COVID, we've been hearing it all along, are people with comorbidities, because your immune system is already weakened. And when something like COVID comes along, forget about it. Forget about it. It can't respond because it's already weakened. And then COVID puts even more pressure on a weakened system, and you just can't respond. But if you're catching it, listen, I don't get the flu vaccine. I haven't had a flu in God knows how many years, because I take very good care of my body and my immune system is good and healthy. So I don't, and if I feel something coming on, I know what to do. I immediately go drink my my multivitamin or some lemon water. I'll be drinking lemon water. Just keep drinking lemon water, and that will knock that thing right out. So I can't tell you the last time I had a flu. And I used to be a person, before I got on this health kick, every flu season I was coming down with the flu. I used to catch everything going around, every cold, every flu, I would catch it. I was one of those people that I used to suffer from stomach flus a lot. Stomach flu, regular flu, colds, I used to catch them a lot. I can't tell you the last time, thank God, that I have had one of those things. And that's because my immune system has been strengthened. And I on a daily basis, I'm a product of my product. So on a daily basis, I'm taking my nutrition and my immune system is good and strong. So I don't catch flus anymore. So the fact that you have a flu tells me that your immune system is weakened and you need to strengthen your immune system. You may be doing some good things, but you need to do more. That's all I'm saying. So the orange juice, do you know there's more vitamin C in one little small native cherry than there is in an entire glass of orange juice? You know the little native cherries, right?
Yeah, of course.
One of those tiny little native cherries has more vitamin C than a glass of orange juice.
Wow. We
have been blessed to be surrounded with superfruits. And we don't even know what we're sitting on. You drive by some houses where they got a lot of fruit trees and all the fruit, falling on the ground, rotting. And I'm saying these people don't know the nutrients that are in those fruits, those native fruits. Very, very healthy. So you got to get all 90 nutrients, and you have to eat more organic fruits and vegetables. Leafy greens is important. You want to get a lot of, healthy leafy greens in your diet. You don't need to be, you're supposed to be catching no flu.
Michelle, let me ask you this. Have you ever done a show on the simple diet that an average layman can stick to?
I think I did. I think I did a show on good foods, bad foods. I think I did the 12 bad foods. I remember doing that show right here. So I'm pretty sure I have. I'll have to search through all of the shows on Facebook to see which date that was, but I'm pretty sure I did that show already.
Okay, because something you touched on, just a few seconds ago, about a native cherry. I don't know how much information you're privy to when it comes around our native fruits and vegetables even, that have certain nutrients that we can,
But it's easy to find out, man. Google. Just got to Google it, and the information will come up. That ain't hard to find out.
Okay. I know.
You just got to know how to spell it, like Ganap. You got to know how to spell Ganap. I think it's Quinep. That's one way to spell it. I think that's how you spell it. You Google that, and all the nutritional information will come up. Ganaps are extremely healthy.
Man, Michelle, man, do a show and stuff like that, man.
All right, I can see if I could prepare a show on the native fruits and what they bring to the table.
The nutritional properties, man, that would be greatly appreciated.
All right, I'll work on that.
Do the work for us.
Thanks so much for calling, man. All right.
Okay.
Have a blessed one. So listen, we're going to take a quick break. Then we come back, we're going to talk about the 10 bad habits that you are doing right now and don't even know you weaken your immune system. That on the other side of the break. Stay with us.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 hyperimmune egg powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your longevity associate.
One of the things I love about the mailboat is their relationship with Bahamas Air. I can earn travel points on my international freight and redeem them when I fly.
For me, online shopping is easy with Mailboat's U.S. addresses and regular freight delivery to Nassau. Plus, I can always prepay customs and freight, and they always notify me when my package arrives.
Yeah, a lot of people think the Mailboat is just for shipping, but they also offer a safe and secure storage facility at affordable rates, all in a central, convenient location.
We also offer passenger service into Freeport multiple times per week with a seating capacity of over 450 persons. With family movies on large screens, one hot meal included, and on-board lounge for snacks and soft drinks. We're the Mailboat. We're bridging people, products, and places.
To stay healthy, it's crucial to make sure you get the nutrition you need every day. But it's difficult to get all your recommended vitamins and minerals from food alone. Even in the United States, 94% of people are deficient in at least one nutrient. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 by Longevity is a simple, convenient, and affordable way to help your body get the essential nutrients it needs. It's an advanced plant-driven multivitamin mineral complex that contains certified organic whole foods, trace minerals, and antioxidants. BTT 2.0 supports your body's natural defense system with a proprietary blend of energy-boosting and body-loving nutrients, plus prebiotics, probiotics, amino acids, and enzymes that support digestion. With an unusually high ORAC score of 8,000, you get even more antioxidants to help combat free radicals that can cause damage to your cells. But to get the most benefit and value from any multivitamin, your body must be able to break down the nutrients so you can fully absorb them. Otherwise, they'll just pass through your system without doing any good. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 was specially formulated with synergizing cofactors to ensure you get maximum nutrient absorption. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 is the easiest way to give your body the balance and complete daily vitamin mineral supplement it needs for optimal support of your overall health. To learn more, contact your longevity associate.
This portion of GPS is brought to you by
Classic Formal Wear, the place where you can find everything you need for that special occasion.
And by Tiki Bikini Hut at Junkanoo Beach. Great food, cool tropical drinks, and family fun in the sun.
And we are back. Welcome back to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Glory 93.9 FM. I'm your host, Michelle Malcolm. We're talking all about your immune system today, helping you to understand how it functions and what you can do to help it. And now we're going to be talking about what you need to not do to damage your immune system. And there's some common things that you're doing right now that you didn't even know. So hopefully this knowledge is going to help you out a lot. Jamila says, knowledge is key to change. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. Sarah says, be encouraged, the message getting to the masses. Thank you, Sarah. Julian says, love the information. Thank you, Julian. Jamila says, yes, you do get tired preaching to your friends and family when your eyes are open. Terry says, hey, Terry, I missed the information given by the doctors last night. Wish I could hear a rerun. Perhaps I'll call Guardian and ask. If you go to Facebook, I think, look up Ask the Doctor with Dr. Dre Archer. I think that's how I found it. Somebody sent me the link, and that's how I found it. It's on Facebook. But, man, I was so encouraged. I said, my God, this is exactly what I've been saying. This is exactly the message I have been putting out there. And this is exactly what those doctors had to say last night. And I was very encouraged by that. Mr. Smith, Sunday. Ms. Malcolm, you are recommending the vaccine combined with healthy eating. There is no. Are you recommending the vaccine combined with healthy eating? No. There is so much being said about bush meds and people with healthy immune systems still dying because they are not vaccinated. So much information on both sides of the fence. Thanks for your information. They need to strengthen their immune systems. If their immune systems are strong, they will be able to beat it, with or without a vaccine. And again, my question is, if your vaccine is the only way that you can beat COVID, how do you explain all of the millions of people around the world who beat COVID before the vaccine was available? Please explain that to me. And yeah, they say the Delta variant is more, you can, catch it easier, more virulent. But again, people with the vaccine are now coming down with that Delta variant. So what's the difference between, anyway, I don't want to go there today. Let me stay focused. So Hasheen says viruses are not bad or good. Viruses are created by nature to maintain balance in the different environment. And as the conditions change or are corrupted, viruses will reconfigure to balance out with the new environmental impact. So any living thing that is not in tone is eliminated in order to protect the environment, thereby ensuring natural. Okay. Let's see. Let's go to one more. Rosemary says, Michelle, you hit the nail on the head. This is a global agenda. They are speaking from the same playbook. You just need to listen to the news stations around the world. Yeah, you close your eye and you ain't sure who talking. All of them saying the same thing. All right, let me go to the next clip. So you are doing some things right now that you may not realize are weakening your immune system. Now, this clip was too long to play in its entirety, so I split it up into two. So this is part one of the 10 bad habits. So I'll give you 5 in this clip. Bad common habits that weaken your immune system. Let's go to clip number 5.
If you work late nights or like watching TV or doing projects late into the night, you may have a weak immunity. Poor sleep habits lower the immune system's functioning and reduce your level of killer white blood cells that fight germs. Sleep deprivation also reduces the production of protective cytokines. While you sleep, your immune system releases different types of cytokines that help to protect your body against infections and diseases whose production can significantly decrease if you are sleep deprived. In a 2017 study published in Journal of Sleep, researchers took blood samples from 11 pairs of identical twins with different sleep patterns and found that the twin with the shorter sleep duration had a depressed immune system and with reduced activity of lymphocytes in their blood compared with his or her sibling. Avoid skipping on sleep. Develop a proper sleep hygiene. Be in the bed at a fixed time every night and try to wake up at the same time every morning. Be sure to get 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep every night. If you often eat or drink something sweet to satisfy your cravings, you can suffer from a weak immunity. Refined sugar can reduce the ability of white blood cells to kill germs. Sugar actually prevents vitamin C from getting into the white blood cells, resulting in a weakened immunity. Interestingly, the immune suppressing effects of sugar starts within 30 minutes after ingestion and may last for many hours. If you need to eat something sweet, go for fruits like oranges, apples, mangoes, watermelons, and others that contain natural sugars to satisfy your cravings. The vitamin C in these fruits will also help your immune system to work in a more efficient manner. The benefits that a daily glass of wine can contribute to cardiovascular health is scientifically proven, but excessive consumption of alcoholic beverages can throw away all the benefits of moderate consumption. In addition, not all alcoholic beverages have the same benefits of wine. Many have a high alcohol level that cannot be metabolized by the body, depressing the ability of the immune system. Also, excessive alcohol consumption reduces the production of white blood cells, slows down digestive activity, and overloads liver work, reducing its ability to store vitamins. All these factors contribute to the poor immunity in alcoholics. If the controlled consumption of some alcoholic beverages can be accepted, in the case of tobacco there is no limit allowed. Cigarettes contain more than 250 highly harmful substances, some of which are even considered poisonous, such as ammonia, arsenic, nicotine, and toluene. The human body is not made to process chemicals as potent and devastating as those contained in the cigarettes. Slowly, smoking affects all systems of the human body, and the immune system is no exception. Drinking too much coffee and other caffeinated beverages is also not good for your immunity. Excessive caffeine stimulates your nervous system by increasing the stress level in the body. A high stress level causes the release of stress hormones like cortisol. Cortisol is also known to suppress the immune system and make you more prone to infections and other health problems. Elevated cortisol is also linked to health issues related to the heart, blood sugar, and high cholesterol. When taken in moderation, coffee provides many health benefits like increased alertness, mood, and energy. So limit yourself to just 1 to 2 cups of coffee per day.
So confession time. The number one thing that he mentioned, that the night owl situation, I was like, ouch, you just mashed my corn dead hard, because I am guilty of that. I don't get to bed, generally speaking, before 1 o'clock in the morning. That's not good. So yeah, I got to work on that. But he mentioned other things that we do a lot of. Drinking coffee is one of them. Drinking a lot of coffee, or obviously excessive alcoholic beverages. Sugar is the devil when it comes to your immune system. White sugar, white processed sugar, you want to avoid. Sugary drinks, you want to avoid, getting a lot of that processed sugar in your diet, because it will make your immune system very, very weak. So I can't tell you the last time I buy sugar. I use monk fruit. And even that I don't use a lot of, because I've become so used to not adding sugar to my stuff. So the only time I really use that is if I have a recipe that calls, like if I'm baking something, and it calls for sugar, I'll use monk fruit. But I don't even buy sugar anymore. Whatever sugar I get is from fruits that I naturally eat. So yeah, those are things that you're doing on a daily basis that are weakening your immune system. One more clip, and we're running out of time. So let's go straight to that final clip. That would be clip number 6, about 5 bad habits that you are doing right now that are helping to weaken your immune system.
Eating junk food in excess can be bad for your immunity. Junk food is often high in fat, and eating excess fat is one of the key reasons behind obesity. A diet high in saturated fat can harm the immune system even before the weight gain begins to show. Obesity can affect the ability of the white blood cells to multiply and produce antibodies, thus making you more prone to infections. A 2014 study published in Nutritional Journal reports that the Western diet is characterized by an overconsumption of refined sugars, salts, and saturated fat, which has a negative impact on immunity. It can lead to increased inflammation, reduced control of infection, increased rates of cancer, and increased risk of allergic and autoimmune diseases. Cut down on fast food and choose a healthy diet instead. The human body is mostly made of water. In every cell of our body, H2O performs numerous functions, and if you don't drink enough water to replenish what your body needs, it will surely affect your immune system. Proper hydration is essential for building a stronger immunity. In a 2013 animal study published in Frontiers of Zoology, researchers concluded that depending upon the life history of an organism, osmotic state may have a greater influence on immune function than energy availability, which in simple words means water is more important for immune function than food. A healthy person should drink about 8 to 10 glasses of water per day. However, the amount of water you drink may depend upon the climate in which you live, how physically active you are, and your overall health. Lack of regular physical activity is harmful in every way for the body. The sedentary lifestyle literally makes the immune system sleep. Engaging in any sport or some form of physical exercise activates it to fight viral and bacterial infections and decreases the likelihood of suffering from chronic diseases such as osteoporosis, arthritis, or heart disease. Exercise reduces stress and increases the production of antibodies and white blood cells. On the other hand, when we work out, our body temperature rises, and elevation of body temperature reduces the possibility of bacterial growth on your body. Physical activity is essential for building a stronger immunity, and there is no doubt about it. But that brings us to our next point, which lowers our immunity, which is excessive exercise. Your body has a limit. And when you try to push it beyond its physical limits, it stops functioning correctly. Your immune system also stops responding efficiently and you fall prey to infections easily. Researchers show that more than 90 minutes of high-intensity exercise can make you more susceptible to illness for up to 72 hours after the exercise session. Intense exercise seems to cause a temporary decrease in immune function. Researchers have found that during these intense physical exertion periods, the body produces certain hormones that temporarily lower the immunity. Cortisol and adrenaline are stress hormones, perform numerous important functions in our body, but they also raise blood pressure and cholesterol levels, and they also suppress the immune system. This effect has been linked to increased susceptibility to infections in endurance athletes after extreme exercises. Always ensure that you take proper rest and do not overwork yourself. Heavy, long-term exercise such as marathon running and intense gym training have been proven to lower your immunity and decrease its ability to fight viral infections. Believe it or not, avoiding people or human connections can also affect your immunity. Social relationships, both the quantity and quality, affect our mental health, which affects our health behavior, and indirectly affects our immunity as well. People who have poor social relations usually run at least twice the risk of serious illnesses and premature death compared to the people who have good social relations. If you want to be healthier, you cannot avoid other people. Like it or not, the human body is built to be a part of society, and putting time and effort into positively interacting with others will inevitably bring you many health benefits, if nothing else.
Isn't it ironic? Considering that social distancing is one of the things that we are being told we have to do, and yet we are social creatures that need to be around other human beings. And when you consider that, that could weaken your immune system, when you consider that eating fast foods weakens your immune system, and the Bahamas, I forget which one of the fast food restaurants it is, I think it's Wendy's, I'm not sure. Anyway, leads the world in sales, the entire world. Can you imagine? That's how much fast food that we're eating. No wonder why we have so much sickness. Because we doing everything that we could possibly do to weaken our immune systems. Another thing that will weaken your immune system, stress and fear. And that's exactly what is being peddled in this pandemic. Fear. If you're walking around scared of your own shadow, if you're stressed out all the time, that's weakening your immune system. This is a perfect storm. Because the very things that are helping to weaken your immune system is exactly what is being peddled. And if you have a weak immune system, you're more susceptible to become ill to COVID. It's just sad. I want to encourage you today as we wrap up the show, only 2 minutes left. I want to encourage you to do everything within your power to nutrify your body, ensure that you're getting adequate rest, good clean water, that you're not stressing yourself out, you're not living in fear. You got to take responsibility for your own health, people. It cannot be where you think it's okay to continue to eat poorly, do everything you could possibly do to destroy your health, and then tell me you're going to force me to take a vaccine to protect you. Does that make me narcissistic? If it is, I'm guilty as charged. We have to take responsibility for our own health. We have to do what we need to do to make ourselves healthier. I want to encourage you all to do the research, find out what you need to do to strengthen your immune system, because this whole thing starts and ends there. With or without a vaccine, you still need a functioning immune system. Last comment of the day, Jamila says, we should ban all fast food places in this country. Last I heard, they don't have any of them in the Turks and Caicos. Hasheen says, this is freezing. Well said and well received. I think that's what he said. Yeah, well said, well received. Take care of yourselves, people. That is your duty to the rest of us. In the same way, how you telling me that it is my duty to take a vaccine to protect the masses, it's your duty to take better care of yourself to protect the masses. How about we push both messages side by side? Don't just come to me and try to shove a vaccine down my throat, but I could go eat all the fast food I want to eat and smoke all the cigarette I want to smoke and drink all the rum I want to drink, and that's good. Y'all got to be joking. Anyhow, it's 1 o'clock. Tomorrow, guys, there will be no show. The office will be closed tomorrow. Tomorrow is the memorial service for the matriarch of the royal family. And so there will be no show tomorrow as the office here will be closed. But we will be back on Friday with an open line show. So come prepared to talk about the week that was. All right? So that'll do it for today's show. I'm Michelle Malcolm. Thank you so much for joining us here on GPS. Be safe, everybody. Take better care of yourself. Have a good afternoon.